For me, the most anticipated game of the year this year was whenever the Bears play the Lions. That's what we're talking about today. Bears versus Lions in Chicago, my top photos, and let's get right into it. Coming in at number 9, this is Jahmyr Gibbs, who to me is looking like one of the top young running backs in the league. He was a questionable draft pick, but he's playing really well. And right here, you see him running the ball and a nice ISO on him. And I think having the Bears player chasing him helps create some kind of story. Next up, we have a portrait of Justin Fields. Now, if you've been following me for over a year now, you saw all my photos from last year. And just about every game, I'll try and get a portrait of the other team's pretty much MVP of the game. Typically, it was the quarterback of the winning team would get interviewed by the media after the game. So this right here is exactly what that is. You see a little bit of that microphone down in the bottom right, but this is Justin Fields after they won the game getting interviewed. These are little moments where they're actually shining a light on him, so you can get a perfect portrait of whoever is getting interviewed and then crop in or zoom in just enough so you can't really tell what's going on. Looks like he's just looking down talking to somebody. Next up, we got 2 photos, and this has been a constant theme of photos that I like to get. During the national anthem, I'll go to the opposing team's side, and I'll try and get some tight portraits on the players. In this case, we got Jared Goff and we got Aiden Hutchinson. Pretty much the same shot, back-to-back times, but we isolate them from the background, make the background turn into their little Lions blue, and then we just have a portrait on them. One looking to the right, one looking to the left. Now, whenever I talked about the Jahmyr Gibbs photo, I said I liked having the Bears player in frame. That's a similar reason to why I like this photo of Sam LaPorta. You see him celebrating a first down, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, if we really stretch it, Bears player standing around him. This tells a story, him celebrating clearly, first down, and then everybody from the opposing team kind of like, man, we let them get it. Just bummed out. This is a storytelling photo. Moving on, we got my 5th favorite photo from this game. This is Justin Fields during pregame stretching out. When you look at this photo, and if you watched my previous video about how I edit my NFL photos, this one I isolated and I separated it into different elements. So we got Justin Fields and then we got the background, maybe a little bit of the sky, but we want him to stand out from that background, even though this photo wasn't shot at like f1.2. It was probably at f2.8, maybe f4, and just isolating him from the background is really what makes this one stand out. And I just love seeing him solo in frame, and those lights in the top are just the cherry on top. Now, if you're sitting there thinking these photos aren't as sharp as they usually are, I make mistakes just like we all do. I want you to learn from my mistakes. So my computer was full on storage the other day, and I was on a job, so I just needed to delete stuff right away. And so I went ahead and I deleted my whole Lightroom catalog. And so these photos are screenshots from my previous video. They're still my photos, they're still what I edited, but they're not the highest resolution that they could be. So when I delete my Lightroom catalog, it doesn't mean I deleted all of the RAWs. It means I deleted all of the edits, and whenever I edited them previously, I didn't export them all to have that edited photo. So learn from my mistake. Don't delete your Lightroom catalog. Something I'm going to start doing from today forward is saving my Lightroom catalog to the corresponding hard drive that I'm using. So then I won't have to really worry about space, and all it will be is maybe clearing it off to put on a hard drive and then making a new catalog, but the old catalog still exists. Please just learn from my mistake. But number 4, we have an ISO on Justin Fields. Now, I cropped this one in quite a bit and made it kind of an abstract kind of look. So you see him calling some kind of audible, some kind of adjustment in the play, and I really just like the separation from the background here. And also, it's such a stupid thing that I like, but the green grass stain on his elbow, there's something about it that I really like, because there's no other green tones at all throughout this whole image. And then you have that pop, and it actually, in my opinion, makes him stand out from everything else. And also, obviously, he stands out because of the separation from the background, but there's something about that I really like. I love a good pop of color, and that's a weird pop of color to have that only was there for different portions of the game, but for some reason that makes me love this photo. Now, number 3, we have a DJ Moore touchdown. This was the first touchdown of the game. And this photo I like because I've talked about in the past how I struggle to shoot whenever the players get closer to the end zone. In this circumstance, I got lucky with the touchdown happening on the opposite side of the field for me. So you can still see the pylon and you can still see that he's entering the end zone, obviously with a celebration as well. Whenever I edited this, I did isolate him from the background, makes him pop a little bit more. As you see, he is much more higher contrast than the referees, than the fans, and that is an easy way to make him pop more. If I just completely edited this photo without doing any masks, I don't think I would like the photo as much, but in some sense, the composition of this is great because while it's a good photo because it tells the story of the game. If this photo was just shoulders up of him scoring a touchdown, you can't tell it's a touchdown, but the fact that you can see the pylon and you can see the referee standing there, the goal line sign right at his feet, that is what tells the story of what's actually happening. Number 2, this is Aiden Hutchinson. Now, why isn't this number 1? It's not number 1 because there's people in the background, and I think if this was just him isolated in the frame, it would set me over the top and I would really like it. But I don't love it because there's distracting elements in the background. But this is right after he sacked Justin Fields, and this is his celebration, pointing at his sideline and just celebrating a sack overall. It was a big moment in the game too. It was later in the game, and so the emotions were just running high, and the fact that you can see that emotion on his face is what sets it over the top too. If he was turned the totally opposite way from me, pointing, and you couldn't see the expression on his face, I don't think this photo would even be one that I mark and send to anybody or edit at all. But the fact that his face is clearly visible in the photo, that makes this photo stand out. Now, coming in at number 1, before we get there, subscribe, like this video. If you like sports photography, I teach it a lot here, whether it's how to get the jobs, whether it's how to edit my photos, shoot the photos, it'll help you, I promise. But number 1, inside the Lions huddle, we got Amon-Ra St Brown. He is the player that I was isolating here, and just the moody tones of this photo set it over the top. Those blues, the Lions, is such a nice color on camera. And right here, darkening the photo a little bit, seeing him amongst his teammates. The wide shots during pregame are constantly my favorite photos from throughout the days, and it's because I am kind of sick of the telephoto look during all sports photos. During pregame, I can get in the huddle, and right here, having a wide lens, it feels like you're right there hanging out with Amon-Ra St Brown. That's pretty cool if you ask me. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new here, I do these all the time, and I talk sports video, sports photo, as I mentioned, so you're going to want to stay tuned for the projects that I have coming up soon. And in the meantime, thank you for watching. Peace.